Hi, my name's Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Today we want to tune the difference. Hi, my name's Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Today we want to look at tuning the difference between the Cardovan Tab and the Kangaroo Tab. So this is a Fairweather Tab and this is a Bicaster Tab. So I want to talk about the differences that I'm finding because tuning is really hard. So that's what I'm going to start with. I've been shooting for 40 years and I've shot at a reasonable high standard. And it's hard. So what you generally see is you see people throwing the arrows in the 10 or people doing YouTubes and throwing them in the 10, right? A lot of that is not real, okay? So you may think it's real and that's fine, but if you go and look up scores at world archery events, you will see it's very, very rare for people to shoot that well, okay? So that's where I'm going to start with. But when you see people shooting very well, you don't realize how much has gone into it in the background for them to shoot that well. How much training's gone in, how much has gone in to set up their bow, how much, I'm going to say weight training, how much cardio's gone in. It's a lot of work. It's hard work, right? So today I was trying this tab to see if I shoot better with this tab than this tab, all right? So I was just interested to see the difference. Now, the first thing I noticed with this tab, and we're going to do it on video so you can see, and I don't know why this stuff's occurring, so I'm going to say that first off, is when I shoot the Cardovan, my sights are up, so the arrow shoots higher in the target, and it shoots to the right. So at 18 meters, instead of hitting the middle, it will shoot up here. It will shoot a high 7. Now I thought, well, some of that could be the anchor points and all that sort of stuff. Now I've done this with a few tabs and I get the same results, okay? So it's not a thing on Bicaster or on Fairweather. And there is differences in the width of the tabs. They're both medium. But I noticed that when I do bareshaft tuning, this is what I'm doing in the video today. So I did bareshaft tuning on both tabs. This tab, the Cardovan, the bareshaft goes significantly out this side. So much so that I missed the target. And you can see the holes in the target here where I hit the wood with the bareshaft. So it's basically, what it's suggesting is the arrow is very weak with a Cardovan tab, but with the leather kangaroo hide, it's slower, so the arrow is stiffer, okay? So if I was shooting Cardovan, I would need stiffer arrows, and if I was shooting Kangaroo, I'd need softer arrows. It is so hard. Now, how much difference is it? So I have two different bows at 2 pounds difference, and I'm getting the same results, okay? So I'm going to show you, so I'm going to do up close so I don't damage another expensive arrow, because I damaged that trying to drill that out. So we're going to do it up close. 8 meters away, so you can see the difference at 8 meters. So the reason I do this is to inform you and educate that this stuff is not easy, and it could be my shooting technique. So I've had some good ends and some bad ends, and it's not like the arrows group badly. They don't. I've had some really tight groups here when I've been tuning, and it's not like my scores vary much between tuned and untuned. The scores are about the same, okay? So just basically making a good shot puts the arrow in the middle, and shooting a crappy shot throws the arrow. So, but then sometimes I shoot better ends. So let's do this video and I can show you the differences that we're getting. Okay, so before we shoot the arrows, let's just talk about what I'm shooting. I'm shooting a Fivix Argon X riser. I think these are 46 pound limbs. At my draw length, they're drawing back 50 pounds exactly through the clicker, because I've got a bow scale to check it. The arrows I am shooting are Pandera CA320s, they're 500s with Pandera spin wings. I do have the KSL vanes, which are a softer spin wing, and it gets all the same results, so there's really no difference. I'm shooting tungsten points. Tungsten soften the spine. So last week when I was doing this video, the stainless steel points came in too stiff. So then I've got tungsten, which softens it, and now they're coming through a little bit. Now they're coming through a little bit soft. All right, so but we're going to shoot these arrows. I'm doing this close so I don't miss the target, right? So, because I don't want to damage another arrow. So this is just a fletched arrow. When you're doing this, I would suggest up close, and then you can work your way back as you go, because damaging arrows is not a good idea. I'll move the camera behind so you can kind of see what we're doing. So another fletched. Now, when I say I have shot this before, I did it up close so I can see the difference, because I wanted to see at 8 meters whether you can see a difference, because at 18 it just expands, right? The variation. So the further back you go, the bigger the variation. Magnifies it. So bare shaft. Now there's different types of tuning. There's paper tuning in this, but I always do bare shaft. That's the way I start, because I like it simple. If the bare shaft's in the middle, it's generally okay. That wasn't the greatest release, but let's go and look at the group. And you can see it because I've got the second camera out today, but like, I'm bringing the camera up, like it's good, like good, right? Like the bare shaft is in the same angle as the fletched arrows, right? Because it's one thing hitting the same spot, it's another if the unfletched arrow is an angle like this. Now when I was doing this before, the bare shaft was at an angle like this to the fletched arrows. It was like coming out sideways. So that's with the Cardovan tab. So that could be a bad release, or that I'm just not comfortable with the tab. But like I said, I've had these results with a number of tabs. So we're going to try out the Cardovan tab now, and you can see the difference. Now, shooting scores with both these tabs, because I've shot scores with them both, there's no real difference. The groups are fine with this, the groups are fine with this. So there's no real difference. And when I say there's no real difference, I've got to shoot up. I would have to shoot 30 rounds with this and 30 rounds with this, and then go, well, there's a difference. Or in my preliminary testing, I've shot about the same scores. Okay, so then it's just a matter of what I feel comfortable with. I'm going to say my Fairweather tab, the leather is a bit shot to thing, and I will replace it today. I will go into the shop, and I mean, I don't expect it to make a difference, and maybe it will. I did listen to a video from Simon where he said the Kangaroo should be replaced all the time. Okay, so here we are. We're going to shoot the fletched ones first. Now, the first thing you notice, or I notice, is the arrows to the right. Okay? Now, if the arrow goes to the right on a target, it would suggest the spine is weaker. Okay? If the arrow is too stiff, it will go to the left. So all you've got to think about, if the arrow is too weak, it's wrapping around the bow more and then traveling off to the right. If it's too stiff, it's not wrapping around the bow and traveling to the left. Ideally, it goes straight, right? The arrow will fishtail, obviously, going down there, but we'll just shoot another one to see if it goes in the same spot. And I'm going to say hopefully it's high, because that's been my findings. Like I said, I've tried out a few tabs. I put a shelf on this before because I found without the shelf it was digging into my chin, but Now those two arrows are pointing straight back at me, and I can see them at this distance. At 18 meters, I can't see my arrows, and it's a bit of a problem for me. So I feel like I've got to get a telescope. So this is the bare shaft. But the fact that these arrows, the fact that when I shoot Cardovan versus Kangaroo and the arrows are going to the right would suggest either my alignment is different, so where I place my fingers on my face alignment is different, or Cardovan is faster and coming off the bow faster and producing more energy. As a result, the arrows are then moving to the right. Now it was a good shot. I'm happy with that release. I was happy with it all. I think it hit an angle, so let's just go and check. You probably already know, I don't. Right, so it's actually kind of what I wanted to sort of see. So you'll see here the arrow. I'll just come from the top. Hopefully you can see. The angle is to the side, so the arrows come in, and it's significant. It's come in at an angle like that. So it's come in like that. So basically what it's suggesting is these arrows are way too light, too soft for the Cardovan Tab. But with the Fairweather Tab, they're pretty good. And people say archery is simple. It's like, now just on this, as I leave this with you, because like I find archery, it's hard enough to build the muscles. It really is. I find it really hard to build the muscles, to build the shoulders, to build the strength, to build the cardio, all that sort of stuff. I need diet, when I say diet, I need to eat healthy, I need to do weights, I need to strengthen my body. And there's going to be people who are overweight and they shoot great, okay? But I find I need to strengthen it. If I eat crap food, then I get inflammation and then my body hurts. So it's better for me to eat healthy. It's better for my breathing, it's better for everything. And then on top of all that, so on top of you being healthy and strong and doing this every day, you then need to get the arrows to work. And it's going to be, and when people say, well, you know, you need 500 spine, well, there is so much variation because it depends on the type of limb you have, it depends on the string you have, it depends on the points you've got, it depends on the finger tab you've got, it depends on you, okay? It's all I can, when people ask, because I get asked, actually this week all I got asked was about which colour bow I should buy. But I get asked all the time on arrow spines, and I always shudder because if I choose the wrong arrow spine, I have to explain this to people. Because if I say you should shoot 500 spine and they go, well, that didn't work, you owe me my money back, I'm like, well, I don't want to tell you what spine, you choose your spine. So all I do is I say, this is what I did for my draw length at that poundage, so this is my best guess. But you will have to probably go through a whole bunch of arrows and a whole bunch of settings. So, simplify this. If I want to shoot the Cardovan Tab, I need to go back to the stainless steel points in another set of arrows, which I have. So that's my plan now. So my plan is to shoot scores with the stainless steel points, right? So now, these arrows, fletched, even though they come through too weak, they still group fine on the target. They still group, and I score around the same score, okay? It's around the same score that I normally shoot. However, some of my arrows have two fletchers, and then sometimes, you know, the fletchers are getting tatty, and I still shoot, and I'm still shooting scores because I'm still putting down quantities of arrows. if the arrow is shot the same with the bare shaft, then it doesn't matter because that will just shoot in the middle. So, and I like the arrows coming out straight. Alright, so if you're tuning your own bow, you need to have your form right. And there's so much in getting the form right because there's grip, release, and everything else. And that's not simple, and then you need to get the arrows to work. So people say to me, well, how do I know what to get and that sort of stuff? I would start with cheap arrows to determine your spine, because that will say, well, you know, like I've got a customer who brought, you know, all the different spines, and then they go, well, 600s or 700s or 800s work for me, right? And then when you change your limbs, you can go to the different spine. Then as you're getting close to the right spined arrow for your bow setup, you can change little things to see what difference it makes. Now, on this setup here, I adjusted my plunger. So I adjusted my plunger that way to improve the wrap around, because if the arrow is wrapping around the bow too much, so it's shooting to the right, you move the plunger away to encourage the bow arrow to shoot away from the bow. Now I did that. It doesn't still make much difference. The biggest difference I find is the spine of the arrow, how much the arrow is kicking out of the bow. So I find it so simple, and I've got nightmares of doing this 2 weeks ago with the Scatty. I find it so simple that you just grab different arrows and then one of them will work and then you're done. Rather than winding up and winding down limb bolts, because I've got bows 2 pounds difference, and literally it makes very little difference in the tune of the arrows, right? So when you wind up and down the limb bolts, you might get 2 pounds. It doesn't make that much difference. 4 pounds probably does. 4 pounds probably moves you to the next bracket. So it's all the fine tuning and stuff. But the tabs, what a difference. Like, I will need to go up in spine for the Cardovan Tab. So these are 500s. I would definitely need to go to 450s. But I might get away with the stainless steel points because that makes the shaft shorter and stiffens the shaft because the points are longer inside the shaft. So anyway, that's what I'm doing today, and shooting another video. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I hope everything's good. And just remember, the more you work, the easier things become. Someone said, you work hard to make your life easy. So what that means is you put the hard work in, and then when it comes to the actual competition day, it looks easy. So people are like, oh, you're like, life's easy for you. No, it's not. I just put in so much work to make this one point look easy. But if you have an easy life where you sit in front of TV and just watch TV and you eat junk food and you go and shoot that tournament, chances are you're going to shoot absolute rubbish and you're going to be disappointed with yourself. And you're just going to have a hard life because you're doing life so easy all the time. Such an easy life, just eating crap, not being disciplined, that your life is then hard because choices you made. Anyway, that's the tuning. That's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.